And then there's a way The View dumped all over Clarence Thomas the other day. Listen to this.
But, you know, these guys, they're going to say anything, and they're going to try to make it like she didn't earn her way there. That's why I started the criticism.
Can I just add a thought here? Who would have thought Whoopi Goldberg? By the way, who's named Whoopi? I guess you just get used to it. Just like watching when I first saw my first Superman comic. I don't know how old I was, but I'm reading the comic. And Clark Kent's disguise is a pair of eyeglasses. And nobody knows he's Superman. You put the eyeglasses on. Hi, where's Superman? Who are you? I'm Clark Kent. Take off the glasses. I'm Superman. Put the glasses on. So I guess you just get used to it. At some point, you get used to a name like Whoopi. You tell me. So here she is now pontificating on matters of state, on Ukraine, on whether or not we ought to be assisting them militarily. She talks about international relations, talks about inflation. I mean, honestly, and here she is holding court. How many millions of people watch that show every day? Every day. These guys, Jimmy Fallon and Steve Colbert, these are comics. And I read that something like 10 to 15% of young people get their news from these guys. Not even the New York Times or MSNBC or CNN, from these guys. And what's their skill set? They tell jokes. And other people write their lines. Well, whatever. Hey, we're all in this together. It's America. I'm a capitalist. Whatever works for you.
By saying, you know, they're talking about it as an affirmative action.
And Joy Behar, another one weighing in on matters of state. Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. Really?
Not only is that just
Whoopi and Joy. Think about it.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying. I mean, it's just so, and that's why I said, listen, 111.
Didn't they name a cushion after Whoopi?
Years. We're way past affirmative action.
We're way past affirmative action. What does that even mean?
You could make the case that somebody like Amy Coney Barrett was...
Okay. When you say somebody like, you know the sentence is not going to end well. When you make a case that somebody like Amy Coney Barrett...
Coney Barrett was put in there.
Put in there? It wasn't that she was confirmed. It wasn't that she went to school, busted her butt, developed a reputation. She was just put in there. She's walking down the street. Somebody, hey, you, come over here. I'm putting you on the Supreme Court. You.
Because she's a white woman.
Ooh, white woman.
Who they say, well, she'll...
Who's they? Who's they? I thought you guys were pro-women.
Go against abortion rights, and she's a woman.
And she's a woman. How dare you go against abortion rights, and you are a woman. If you're a woman, you must be pro-choice. Otherwise, you're not really a woman.
That was deliberate, I think. Clarence Thomas, a black...
Clarence Thomas. Notice how she just spit the name out. Clarence Thomas. There was a magazine called Emerge. And it came out at the same time another magazine called Destiny came out. And the guy that published Destiny is a guy named Emmanuel McLittle. He's a friend of mine. Came out at the same time that Emerge did. Emerge was a spinoff of Ebony magazine. And Emmanuel McLittle went to the same Fortune 500 companies to get them to advertise in his magazine, and they wouldn't do it. Very thin magazine. Got it published very thin. And you look at Emerge, it was really fat. It looked like the Manhattan phone book. It had ads from GM, ads from Chrysler, ads from Xerox. He couldn't get arrested in Destiny. And Destiny was a upbeat magazine. It was a magazine, you're not a victim, work hard, you can make it in America, America's a great country. Emerge was, you're a victim, you're a victim, you're a victim. Emerge actually had a cover of Clarence Thomas wearing a handkerchief, and the headline said, Uncle Thomas, lawn jockey to the far right. And inside the magazine, there was a cartoon of Clarence Thomas shining Antonin Scalia's shoes. I kid you not. And full of ads. All these Fortune 500 companies where IBM had advertised in there. And poor Malcolm McLittle couldn't get arrested trying to get the same advertisers to advertise for his positive magazine called Destiny. Now, eventually both magazines went under, but Emerge had a huge, huge influx of advertising dollars from Madison Avenue.
Guy, a black man, a justice. Okay, I'll give it to him.
Okay, I'll give it to him. He's a justice, but...
a smart guy. But he is to the right of Attila the Hun, this guy.
Oh, I never heard that term before. He's to the right of Attila the Hun. Where have you heard that? If I had a nickel every time I heard somebody say, I'm just to the right of Attila the Hun. How about some original material? At least Colbert has writers.
Smart guy, but he is to the right of Attila the Hun, this guy, and they put him in there thinking, oh.
The same they that put her in, put him in. Who's the they? The mysterious they.
A black man will go against voting rights, which is what he does.
And go against voting rights. You mean he doesn't want people to vote? Clarence Thomas believes people shouldn't vote? Goes against voting rights. You mean he supports photo ID? As did, by the way, John Paul Stevens, who in a court case involving Indiana requiring photo voter ID wrote the majority opinion, 6-3. He is a lefty.
Terrible. And it's a very tricky business they're pulling over there when you think about it.
They are engaging in very tricky business.
Mention the fact that Mitch McConnell has no concept of the law.
Mr. McConnell has no concept of the law. But I, as a stand-up comic, I have an excellent concept of the law.
When it comes to the Supreme Court.
They know the law. They're not following it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little different. Different take.
Well, they don't want to follow.
No, and he's allowed to not
follow. He's no, they don't know the law. They just don't want to follow the law. That's it.
It's terribly disrespectful to appoint someone like Clarence.
I got a headache. I'm going to crush up an Advil. I'm going to snort it in the parking lot. I may or may not be back. I'm Larry Elder.